Welcome back to Under Oath. Today I have American rapper, writer, director, producer. Can't even say it. RZA. How are you doing, my friend?
Peace, brother. Good day to you.
You know, I'm watching the trailer. I'm a comic book guy myself. I'm looking for influences. I'm seeing, what we're talking about here. And, you got a little Tarantino, you have a little old school action. And I was thinking if it was a comic book, I would have to put it with Masters of Kung Fu and like the old Punisher together.
That's a nice mashup. I wouldn't even argue with you on that one.
Okay.
I mean, and then just because even though there's no magic in it, do you remember Moon Knight?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love that character, man.
Yeah. I love that. He had a different kind of hood and cape, right? Like, so maybe a little Moon Knight would have popped up in there too.
You know what was interesting about that? I thought, that was Marvel's version of Batman, except he had that mystical quality about him. And for some reason, I liked him a little better because Batman, guilt got him on the road. Moon Knight, he had a whole different flavor. So I like that.
Whole different flavor, yeah.
I'll tell you, when I told people I was interviewing you, they were like losing their mind because everyone sees you differently. Everyone sees you as Wu-Tang. I have an assistant here who's losing his mind over a movie you did earlier, Man with the Iron Fist, and he was losing his mind over that. So everyone has their favorite when it comes to you.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, that's amazing to me. But let's talk about the new movie, One Spoon of Chocolate.
Yes, One Spoon of Chocolate. I mean, it follows an ex-military convict who is trying to get his life together, second chance,
Yeah.
And a second chance, he's trying to get his life together, but you got others who's blocking that, you know what I mean? He ends up in a town where they like to put you underground. You know what I mean? And so he has to figure out if he's going to stand up for justice or not. It stars Shameik Moore. This is my third
Miles
project.
Morales.
Yes, exactly. And I think this is a film where he becomes a man, in my opinion, because he's been in Dope, he's been in Cutthroat City and other movies, and he always seems to play things young. I think he evolves into manhood in this film.
Yeah. Hey, Paris Jackson does a solid job too.
Oh, Paris Jackson is amazing, and quite frankly, she's special because she don't have to do this. Like most people that's in the arts are doing it for fame and money.
She actually got it.
And of course, and passion, right? But she's not doing it for those things. She's actually a real artist that wants to express art. And she came to set, brother, every day. If it was 6 a.m., she was there. She got in that makeup chair and she worked until we wrapped. And it was a joy to work with her. And she's really good in this film.
Now, you're a director, but a lot of people, the leader of the Wu-Tang Clan. I mean, and I was thinking all last night about this interview. And I run a lot of people. I'm in charge of a lot of people. And I guess leadership is, I think, when I look at your career, is probably the most important quality. The ability to deal with so many alpha people and get this amazing product. What do you think the most important thing is when you're talking about being able to manage and bring all these people together?
I think one of the most important qualities is that the leader should also, let's just use this analogy of a general or a king. The general should also be willing to get on the battlefield.
Yeah.
See, if you understand the battlefield, then you understand the soldier. You understand the private. You understand the lieutenant. You can understand each one of them because you've been one of them. So for me, do I understand what the MC wants? Yes, because I'm an MC. Do I understand the frustration of an artist when the label wants to tell you to put on a pink jacket, you want to wear blue? Yeah, because I'm an artist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I understand all those things because I've been each one of them. And I think that a leader, should always start or know how to humble himself. I'm going to give you one more parable here, because in our movie, we mentioned King David when the hero says David slew a giant with a slingshot. The reason why I even put David in the dialogue was because this guy started as a meek sheep herder watching the sheep, but eventually he becomes a king. And not just a king that was mighty, a king that wrote songs, and a king that wrote lessons and things to teach men. You know what I mean? A king that built an empire. And this was the guy that was skinny.
Oh,
So
yeah.
he understood being fragile to being mighty. And I think that's what every leader needs.
The hard thing being a creative is having everybody around you, and let's just say some executives and things like that. Everyone wants to put their fingerprint on something, and you're going, no, this isn't here for a reason. How hard do you fight to keep things in?
Well, to be honest, that depends on the project. On this particular project, we was blessed because it was done by like-minded individuals who was all kind of letting the creative process be led by me. But over the years, of course, you know, I did a whole TV series where we had 3 seasons of TV,
Yeah.
and everybody had an opinion. But I got to be honest with you though, if somebody has been in the system long enough, you got to take heed to their opinion. If somebody say, "Yo, put a black dot on that," right? Just using a bad example, put a black dot on that, and that person is an executive. They've been working for 10, 12 years in their job. You got to go, okay, hold on, let me see how that black dot look. And then, okay, I put it on. Oh wow, you made it better. A little bit of butter on the popcorn made it better. You don't need it, but a little butter made it better. But now let's say that you put the butter on it. Now you're saying, okay, let's put some syrup. You might be like, bro, that's too sticky, bro. You like syrup on your popcorn, but most of us don't. So I think you have to have that instinct to trust that others know, because filmmaking is collaborative, right? There was one time I had a shot that I imagined, but it wasn't technically possible, and it also crossed the line.
Yeah.
Right. So now are you going to cross the line, Liz? And the DP was right. I shouldn't have. Don't cross the line on that scene. But then there was a time when the DP was wrong. I was like, yeah, cross the line, bro. Don't worry about that right now.
It's a hard line. I mean, I've had comic books where I rewrote the joke into the book when I was signing it. That's how mad I got. So yeah, I get it. Now, I was watching part of your film last night, and the martial arts, it's solid. I mean, and I'm thinking to myself, how long you got to get these actors ready to do this. You got to get their stunt, you got to everything going on. I can't imagine. Do you pick a specific stunt coordinator and say, listen, we need to be doing it this way, this way, this way? Or, how do you wind up working that out?
Yeah, I was blessed. My stunt coordinator, his name was Maurice Crump. And he had a partner called Jason Crooms. So Maurice, I known him for years. He trained Chadwick to be the Black Panther. I always wanted to give him an opportunity. He actually was my stuntman on Man with the Iron Fist. He was my stuntman. And so he had learned stunt choreography. He always kept sending me these demos. And so when I did this film, I was like, let me go to Maurice. So I called him and we talked months before we started shooting. And what I said to him is that I want this not to be kung fu, to be using kung fu as a foundation, but to make it feel visceral. And Maurice, I think he delivered for us.
I've been looking at it, and I can't. It makes me crazy because I checked, half the theaters are carrying it, half aren't. And I'm thinking to myself, this is not a movie I want to stream. This is a movie I want to see in the theater. I want this wrapping around me. I want the sound wrapped around me. And when you're doing a distribution deal, I mean, how do you guarantee it's in as many theaters as possible?
Well, we started our own company called 36 Cinema Distribution. And so once again, we're taking a shot at opening up theaters for independent films and becoming a outlet for people. Maybe it takes 30 hurdles, bro, to jump over to get into a theater. We're trying to simplify that to 10 to 12 hurdles. I think our count is about 700 screens right now, and pretty impressive for us on our first attempt. Our aim is 1,000, and we'll see if we reach 1,000. Before the weekend's over. But in order for that to happen, I do need the fans and the people and your listeners and my listeners to go check out this film. And and I'm not just, I'm not saying that I'm trying to be a salesman here. The film is a cinematic experience, bro. You will feel everything you're supposed to get from a movie. You will be scared. You'll get angry. Uh, ladies been crying. Like, you know what I mean? People been smiling. It's full of it. It's made for that cinematic experience, and I feel like we really deliver it.
And I love when somebody has a vision and they get to do what they love. And people always ask me, do you love what you do? I said, the more money you need to make, the less you're going to like it. But, if you can do just part of what you love to do, and when you get an opportunity to do this and you get to work with guys like, you get to get advice from Tarantino and things like that. I mean, how important is that to you?
It's very important. And you're right. It's very important to love what you do regardless of the outcome. If you set out on a goal, go and do it and complete it. Plant that seed. It'll grow into that tree, but you got to plant that seed. I've been blessed to have great talent around me, a great cast. I had Blair Underwood in this movie, a legend. Rockman Dunbar, another legend. We had RZA Seiler, young up and coming, and we got a chance to also bring in new actors who haven't. This is their first big cinema appearance, like Harry Goodwin's. You know what I mean? Myrie Crutchfield. It's only her second movie. She's done a lot of TV shows, but this is only her second film. And then I was also able to go get a veteran producer named Paul Hall, who he did all the John Singleton. You see Higher Learning, you see Shaft, that's Paul. You see Tyler Perry movies.
Wow, you went back to get this guy.
I went back and got him, bro. And he came through and helped deliver this product.
Now, here's the thing. I had a good friend of mine is a producer named AO. And he wanted me to tell you hello. He was hoping to come in on this interview and give you, tell you how much he loves you and everything.
Thank you.
And how difficult is for you? Because when I meet people, for example, when I meet my heroes, a lot of times you get disappointed. How tough is it for you when you meet somebody to let them, and they come up to you, oh, you're my favorite ever, to make sure you give them that experience?
Well, I try to be as pure and real. I am what you see is what you get. I've been me. I am me. I'm me. You know what I mean? Buddha. Hey, Buddha said this, bro. I'm gonna give you a Buddha proverb. He said the secret is to escape the wheel, meaning the spinning wheel of life and death. That's a secret, right? So that you can so you are born as you. Now, and they say that you could come back as a cat, rat, dog, pig, and all these different things.
Yeah.
Now we don't know about that.
I don't know.
But I would say instinctually you can, right? You can have the personality of all these different things. But once you find yourself, stay yourself and be yourself and never forget yourself. And if you can do that, no matter who you run across, bro, they're going to be meeting you.
Well, I appreciate all that. I have less than a minute left, but I did want to get something in. I think it's important for writers, producers, directors like you to be able to get, let's just say, a comic book series like Milestone used to do, and to be able to get that out to kids. Because I can tell you, when I'm at Comic-Con, for example, the only character I see for black kids are Black Panther and Miles Morales. They need more than that. And if you could make that happen, that'd be great.
I'll put some energy towards that. And I thank you for even suggesting that. Maybe our character, Unique, can be a vengeful superhero.
I try to run it through Image. They probably would do it.
Okay. I got my buddy Abazar sitting over here. We're gonna take that advice. You wanna say hi, Abazar?
Hey, what's going on? How are you?
How you doing, man? All right, I know you got somebody following me, but it's been a pleasure talking to you, and you inspire me and so many other people, so I appreciate it.
Thank you, brothers. Thank you for this interview. It's been a pleasure as well. Peace.